Hi. In this video, we will learn about absolute and relative cell referencing in Excel.
In Excel, there are two main methods of using cell references when we are writing formulas. First method is the relative cell reference method, and the other one is absolute cell reference methods. So let's learn about relative cell references first. So this is the basic type of cell references. So here we got example, we got some products, the quantities, and then the prices of each product. So here we want to calculate the total sales value. So what we can do is we start a formula here, equal sign, then take the quantity D4, multiply by that by price, and I can press enter. So I get the answer 1250. Now, when I want to copy down these formulas, rather than entering each of these formulas again, I can copy down this formula that I have created to the other two rows. So there are several methods of doing this. One method is you can come here, take your cursor to the corner of this cell where there's a small green box, and you see the cursor now becomes a in cross. Bill Gates calls this the crosshair. So this is called the fill handle at the corner of this cell. This small square is called the fill handle. So when you take the cursor there, you can do a double click, and it will copy down that same formula to the other two cells. So as long as there is data on this side, this method will work where you can just double click on the fill handle and it will copy down the formula as long as there is data on this side. So let me undo this. So the other method is you can take the fill handle over here and drag it down with the mouse, and then you can let go. So it will again copy down all the formulas to the other cells. Then there's a third method. You can do the first formula, and then you can select the whole range where you want the formula to be copied, and you can press the shortcut key Ctrl and D. D is for down, so you can press Ctrl and D, and it will copy down the same formula to the other two cells over here. So if you check the formulas, so this is quantity of the desk into the price. So that formula is also correct. So check the other formula. So it is again quantity of this lamp into the price. So that formula is also correct. So we only had to write one formula and we could copy it down. Why this works is because of the relative cell referencing rule. So here if you look at this formula in the F column, so it's taking D4, this cell, the green, the blue one, multiplying it by E4, the red cell. So Excel color codes this for you to easily refer to where the cells are there. So you see it's D4 into E4. And if you go to the other cell, the formula is D5 into E5. So Excel is applying here what is called relative cell reference logic. So if you take the first formula, what it's doing here is on the F cell is taking D4, which is two cells to the left, and multiplying that by E4, which is one cell to the left from this cell basically here, that is F4. So relative to F4 is taking two cells to the left and multiplying that by one cell to the left. So why it works when I copy it down is it's applying the same logic. From F5, it knows I want to take two cells to the left, this 50, and multiply that by one cell to the left, that is the 220. So quantity and price are correctly taken because Excel applies the relative logic or relative cell reference logic. So this is the basic form of cell references where you just refer to a relative location from the position where you're writing the formula from. So it works as long as that logic is okay to be applied into the other cells. So we look at the other main type of cell referencing called absolute cell references. So we had the similar example over here. So let's do the total sales value first. This into this. And remember, when you want to remain inside the cell, you can press Ctrl Enter. Because now I want to use the field handle to copy down. So I will come here, copy down the formula. So far, we have used the basic cell referencing to get the total sales. Then there is a sales tax value we need to calculate. So sales tax value is 20% of the sales value. So how we can calculate that is, from here, we will take the total sales value and multiply that by this 20%, the sales tax value. So if I press Ctrl Enter, I get 1250 into 20%. So it's correct. So we got 250, right? So let me copy down using the same field handle method. So now there seems to be error. These two cells, we are getting a 0. So if we go into the edit mode, double click, we see the formula here is total sales, that's correct, for the desk, into D10, whereas it should be D9. So we have moved one cell down. So the original formula was D9. So D9 is where we got the tax value. So if you go to the other cell, we have see here, we have taken the total sales correctly, but for the tax, we have gone 2 cells below to D11. So this happens because of the relative cell referencing. So because this cell is over here and we go 1 cell and 2 cell below, what happens is for the total sales is correct, it will take 1 cell to the left. But here, because we are going down and then to this side to get the sales tax from D9, it will do the same logic for the other two. But what happens is, because this is 1 cell below, 1 row below, it will go 1 row below and there is no data there. So tax is over here. So it does the same thing. We go 2 cells below here for the lamb, whereas it should have stayed here in the 20. So to fix this, it's very easy. What we need to do is apply what is called absolute cell reference into this D9. So what will happen is, when I copy it down, this D9 will not change. It will be an absolute value. So that's why we call it an absolute cell referencing. So the way to do this is, we need to type a $sign in front of the letter D to fix that, and a $sign in front of the 9 to fix that. So if I do this, the formula looks like this now, $D, $9. So if I copy this down using the field handle, let me expand the cell. So now we are getting the right values. We are getting total sales into 20. And again, we are getting total sales of the lamb into 20% tax rate. So here what has happened is, because we have fixed the cell reference D9 with the $signs, it's not going to change when we copy down. So it will always be D9. So this is a situation where we need to use absolute cell referencing. So there's an easy way for you to insert the $signs instead of typing it in manually. You can write the formula as before. Then you go in front of the cell reference where you want to add the $signs, here in front of D, and I press the F4 button. So F4 button, in this case, it adds the $signs to fix the cell reference. So I can press Ctrl Enter, and then I can use the field handle to copy it down. So it's all fixed. So the easy way to fix cell reference is to press F4 key where you want the cell reference to be fixed, changed to absolute.
Thanks for watching.